What's up? What's up? Good afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the RF Deal Desk. We are going to go here for about 20, maybe 30 minutes tops, depending on how busy we are tonight. Because we got a webinar. We got a webinar at 6, and if you don't already know about it, excuse me, join us. It's absolutely free. I'm going to be talking about acquisition, and I'm going to be talking about some sales on the front end with deals. I know I usually do underwriting and all that stuff, and list building and the data and all that kind of stuff, and that's great and that's super important. But it's been asked of me to talk a little bit more about acquisition and sales and all that kind of stuff. So I actually do enjoy it. I know I don't teach it a lot, or maybe I don't lead with it, but for sure, I enjoy it. Had a really interesting lead today that it looks like we're going to end up sending a private investigator, a PI, to Maryland. It's very early on yet, so I'm not going to talk about it yet, but it's a badass deal. It's tax delinquent many years. And the crazy thing is that my CMO found it. What up, Antonio? Who's here? And he found it driving for dollars. And he was like, hey, dude, I think I have something great. And it is something great. What up, Willie? What up, Emrod? All right, so does anybody have a deal to review on the call right now? If not, you know how it goes. I'm going to go to it, and I'm going to get right to it. I'll talk about another one, too, actually, as a matter of fact. Hold on. Let me go. Boom. If you guys were here yesterday, you guys remember this one, 624 51st Street. So a little update on this one. I ended up calling the realtor again today several times, and he didn't answer. And then he called me back, which was great. So the realtor kind of spoke to him a little bit. And this is all like going back to, I guess you could classify it as a little, sales and acquisition, but really like info gathering is what I would call it. And I asked him some questions like, hey, are you still involved with the seller? Obviously, the listing got taken down a couple months back. And he said, no. And he kind of chuckled. And I was like, oh, did something happen? And he's like, yeah. I mean, he just wasn't realistic on his price, and it's crazy because we weren't terribly far off. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I saw you listed it at 255. Not terrible. It probably needs to, a little bit below that. And then he told me, he said, yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, he's not going to take anything below, he's not even going to take 225. And I was like, oh, so you got offers at 225. So again, he's giving me nuggets. I'm like, and he goes, yeah. But he's stubborn. He wouldn't take it. And I'm like, do you mind giving me his phone number? And he said, yeah, sure. I don't mind. So bam. And the reason why that's important is because, not everybody is easy to find. And if you go over here, this guy's a ghost. There's no contacts. There's no skip tracing available for him. So he did give me his number. I called him twice, and then I texted him. And sadly, nothing yet. But yeah, I'm going to get on the phone with him, right? I mean, clearly he has an issue, right, if you remember that. So again, guys, like I told you, don't let a no contact or a specific type of conversation from the past with a seller or with a realtor or with an attorney or an heir or whatever dictate how you reach out in the future or how you contact these people in the future. Guys, and I said this to my CMO today because we actually cold called. We went through all the freaking numbers, which is crazy. I think we dialed like 16 different numbers. So let me just explain, and I guess this is a good place to start. So when you're looking for somebody, right? Like let's say I'm John Doe, okay, just random. John Doe owns this house right here. And I go to his, his profile, the contacts, and I have his information. And let's say there's 4 or 5 numbers, right? Very typical. I call them all, nobody answers. And I call them all, by the way, you should be calling each twice, minimum, maybe 3 times. Pop, 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 pop. Nothing. Does that mean John Doe doesn't want to sell? Does that mean John Doe is unreachable? No, right? That just means that right now, either A, you have the wrong numbers, or B, they're not answering. C, It's not a good time. D, they're getting drilled by 30 other people, right? Day in, day out. E, they could be dead. I mean, it sounds morbid to say, but it's the truth. They could be deceased. And F, I think that was E. F, go contact. The next step should be, do they have a spouse? Yes, they do. Go contact the spouse. Go follow up on his or her numbers. Next step after that, do they have children? Right? Next of kin. Contact those people. If they don't have children, do they have siblings? Contact those people. Right? So that's how you always should work a lead. And that's how we, even when I was running an $8 million a year wholesale business, that's why we crushed it and did so well. Number one, our follow-up was stupid good, like really good. Like a lead would get followed up 20 something times in my CRM, if I recall correctly. And we had it all tracked. The average lead in our CRM was getting contacted 20 something times in order to take the next step. Either, hey, I sold, or no, I don't want to sell, or bam, a deal came in, right? Number one. Number two, we would contact, all my reps were always trained. And even back in the day when I was doing it myself, and even now as I'm calling and you guys see content, right? I'm making content of me actually calling because, I see like, okay, we need some of that content, and people, the community and you guys keep asking me, which I love to do. That's how I do it. I go through John Doe's numbers. Then I go through John Doe's spouse's numbers. Then I go through John Doe's kids' numbers. I go through John Doe's siblings' numbers. That's how you go. And if that all doesn't work, by the way, neighbors. That's another one, right? If that doesn't work, door knock it, right? Like there's always another step. And here's the thing. A lead like the one that my CMO had or has, those types of leads are not just going to be sitting there saying, yes, hello, Will. Yes, you know what? I've been waiting for your call. I would love to sell my house to you at 40 cents on the dollar. Yes, what took you so long? Why didn't you call me? That's not how it works, guys. I wish it was. I would have done a lot more deals, but that's not how it works. They are hard to find for a reason. They're avoiding creditors. They're avoiding lenders. They're avoiding ex-spouses, they're avoiding children, they're avoiding child support, they're avoiding the car repo man, they're avoiding everybody basically. Okay, they're avoiding themselves some days, and they're again by nature they're difficult to reach. So my philosophy was always very, very simple because I grew up broke and I started the business broke. My philosophy was very simple. Well, I don't have the money, but I certainly have the effort, and I am never gonna get outworked by somebody. So my philosophy was simple. I will always do more than the next guy. So if the next guy is making 2-3 cold calls, I'm going to make 10. I'm going to make 15. If the next guy stops at John Doe's numbers, I'm going for John Doe's spouse and his family. If the next guy does that, I'm going to door knock it. If the next guy's not willing to door knock it, I'm going to hire a PI and I'm going to find the dude. I'm going to talk to the neighbors. I'm going to canvass the neighborhood, right? Believe you me, you will win, and you will win big if that's the case. Because everybody think about it. If I feel that way, if he feels that way, if you feel that way with a lead and you're like, oh my God, man, this guy's hard to reach. I can't get a hold of this guy. No one's answering the phone. Well, everybody's feeling that way. Everyone, your competition is feeling that way. And 99% of people, my philosophy always was, they're lazy. They're lazy. So the key here is don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. And again, if you speak to somebody once and they don't, follow up. Most of the time you're in your own head. I know for me, I used to be like, oh man, dude, I've called this person 10 times in the last 2 days. They're going to be super pissed at me. First of all, they don't even know you exist. So that's bullshit. Second of all, they're not going to notice. They're not going to notice the difference between you calling 5 times, 10 times, and then the next guy calling 5, 10 times, whatever. Again, guys, this is a game of persistence. This is a game of volume. This is a game of follow through, right? And he or she who is going to win is the most persistent and the most consistent. It's not the best investor. It's not the one with the best strategy. It's not the person who comps the best. It's not the person with the most money. It's not the person, with the most experience. It's the person who's always willing to do more and stick to the basics. What up, Willie? What's up, man? Awesome Formula One shirt, Willie. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I got this 2 years ago. Mercedes, before Hamilton left. I've had neighbors door knock for me since I'm virtual. It's like anything in life. And again, you'd be shocked. Don't quote me on the statistic, but in sales as a whole, not just real estate, but like the sales industry as a whole, which we're in marketing and sales and in wholesaling, RF, fix and flip, whatever, right? The wholesaling business as a whole. In sales in general, the average salesperson contacts a prospect about 2 times, okay? Now, you want to know what the average conversion is for a prospect? It usually happens on attempt like 10 to 14. In some industries, it's 20 plus attempts. Just depends on the industry you're in. So again, if your competition on average is only calling 2 times, or, hey, they called once, they called next week, and that's it. They didn't get an answer, so it's easier. And I know because I used to have sales reps. Mark the lead dead. Didn't answer. And you know why sales reps do that, and humans as a whole. I used to do it too. It's easier to go focus on the low-hanging fruit. It's easier, right? Because you're like, oh, let me call that lead that's actually going to answer me. Or, oh man, I got this other lead over here. Let me talk to them, right? Even though that lead's not ready to move forward, but you feel more productive. You're like, oh, I don't want to keep calling these numbers and nobody's answering, right? But that's where the money is. I'm not saying there's not money on the people that do answer the phone. I'm saying the fortune is in the follow-up. I'm sure you've heard that quote. It's super cliche, but it really is true. The fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, so today, does anybody have a lead they want to run? Anybody? No? Okay, you guys come here and you don't have any leads. You make me do all the work. Just kidding. I'll always do all the work. Here's an interesting one, by the way. So I'm just going to do this. Hold on. Here's a little hack for you guys. Let's say I had nothing. Let's say I had nothing. I didn't have the RF deal finder. I didn't know what I know. And I didn't have all these cool apps or batch leads and PropStream and all this bullshit, right? I'm just going to put an address in here for kicks. Any property appraiser in America, you could do this on, okay? So, actually, I'm gonna go to a different neighborhood because I just like it. 1911 Northwest 55th Street. Watch this. 1911 Northwest 55th Street, which is Brownsville, Lib City, etc. Here's what you could do if you want to be super bootstrappy and like, oh, bro, this is why there's no excuses in this business, right? I got one for you. I got one for up. I got one for you. Send it. Pop it right in there. Boom. Hi, Aaliyah. Let me finish this and then I'll do that. So let's say I'm looking at this lead here and I'm on the property appraiser and for whatever reason, they didn't answer or I can't move forward with it or, hey, I'm going to have to follow up, right? Guys, another thing I love to do, and this is like free leads 101, I just click around. I look for shitty ass properties and you can find, dude, I popped off a lot of deals over the years. And I always taught my reps this, when they're running comps, their job isn't only just to run comps. Their job is to run comps and see what's around it. Because usually, and it's crazy, when I buy a house or I'm looking for one property, 1 or 2 or 5 doors down, boom, that's a lead. And I end up buying that. So I'll click around and I'm looking for like flat roofs, right? Distressed flat roofs, shitty looking properties. Look at this, illegal additions, right? This guy already owns it in LLC. Blue tarps for roofs. Look, Spanish investment. He bought this, look. Bam, that's a good deal. $290 all day long. See, so you can tell someone's already getting these, right? Well, you see the roof, okay? And I'm looking for estate ofs. Look at this one. Look, this guy bought it too. This guy bought it back he bought it for 11 grand back in 2011. You guys get the point though? You guys can click around. I mean, and eventually you're just going to find an estate of. If I click around here long enough, which estate ofs are my favorite because they're usually like tax delinquent and stuff. And when I do find one that looks like crap from the aerial, then I just click into the taxes. And look at this tarp, dude. This guy, Silver Surfer of a house. Oh, look at that one. Oh, look at that one. Oh, that looks bad. Oh, yeah. Let's do this one. Boom. Let me see. Let me see. Sarah Mies. Oh, look at that. Tax delinquency. What'd I say? Bam. Right there. You guys see that? So, again, guys, you could just do, dude, if you did nothing else, you could do that. You are Gucci 5,000. I'm telling you. And if you see multiple people on title, that's a really good one. All right. Let's go with the first. Who was first? 1695 West. 1695 West 6th Ave in Hialeah. Yeah. All right. Would you say wondering if this is a lead even? Okay, cool. Well, it's active for 725, which is ridiculous. Clearly 198 days. What does it say? The master. Okay, so this is not selling. This is, obviously the realtor. So this is a probate, or either the probate. It's not sell. It hasn't sold yet. Number one, because the price is too high. Number two, the probate hasn't been done, or it's being finished. Okay, so I can tell. How do I know? Because it says Pedro J. Alvarez, estate of. So like right off the bat, the first thing I'm always gonna check is equity. So there's a reverse mortgage for $447. They probably don't even know that. Probably what's owed there is higher, hence why they're asking for 6 something, because they have no equity. They did start the probate, which is right here. And here's your case number. So if I wanted to go look at the probate, I could do that too. But more importantly, this house, I don't think this house has equity. It says 99% equity. No, it doesn't. It has a reverse mortgage on it. So let's look at these pictures. It's not terrible, but I mean, the house needs renovation. Looks like it has illegal additions, which is pretty common. This is RF Deal Finder. This is our own app, rfdealfinder.com. This is our own proprietary app. So contacts. So they're in the middle of probate. What I'll tell you is this. I'm gonna look up Pedro J. Alvarez, estate of, and I'll just look real quick because they did file a probate. As a matter of fact, in our app, it gives you the case number. So 2025. So I'll do that. 2025. Boom. Bomb. CP, which is 02. All right, closed. What happened here? They did do the probate. Dispo checklist, order of summary administration. So they did finish off the probate. I don't see a foreclosure, but it does have a reverse mortgage. It's definitely going to be 500 and change. So it could be a lead, I mean, not a super motivated one to me because they want 725. The heirs are just typical, right? They want too much money. But I would call the agent, see what's going on, right? Why hasn't it sold, etc., and then call the heirs, who you have them here in your list of contacts. But yeah, I mean, not a great lead, but not terrible either. The biggest problem is going to be, does it even have equity? Because with reverse mortgages, it already has a reverse mortgage from 2006 for 446. It's going to be way higher because they reverse amortize over time. So let's go to the next one. Appreciate that. I hope that helps. 5930 Northwest 8th Ave. Boom, another Miami one. Free and clear. Solid. Estate of Mildred Adderley. Great. The owner says trust. I don't think so. Personal reps deed. That's from 1994. Jesus. So it has no mortgage. So that's good. I like this one. Let's move through. Who's the contact? Okay. So again, I already know it has equity because it has no mortgage. So that's awesome, by the way. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to the property appraiser site and I'm going to check if it's tax delinquent. Okay. see if it has any motivation. Okay, this is another motivation. So you have, this could be good or bad, right? It's good because there's a bunch of people on title. So that's a shit show. It's also bad because now you have an estate of for one person, and now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who own this house jointly. So you're going to need to get all of them or some of them at a good enough price to sue everybody, right? For a partition to force the sale, assuming you can't get it all. So let's look at the last deed. So Mildred Adderley is person representing the estate of. Oh, look at this. 25%. Mildred. 25% to Israel, 25% to Raymond, as to an, what the hell, 1/3 interest. Marilyn Reed as to 1/3 interest. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is going to be a pain in the ass. So I can just tell you that what I would do is try to get any of these heirs, as many as you can, ideally 50%. So try to get a couple of these people for a really discounted price. And then you're going to have to do what's called a partition and probably a probate. I've made a lot of money on deals like this, but they're going to take time. It's going to be a process. You're going to have to get one by one. Some of them aren't going to want to deal with you. Some of them are. This one's deceased, right? So I'll go look Mildred Adderley. Let me copy this. Adderley, Mildred, and we're gonna filter by filing date. Come on. Oh, the last time. Yeah, so there is no probate. It's 1988. Okay. So yeah, that's what I would do. And hold on, let's check one more thing. We're gonna go with property taxes. Check this out. See what's up. It's probably tax delinquent, dude. It's gotta be. No, it's a great lead. It's a great lead. Great lead. That, my friend, is a banger. Banger. No, they do not owe all these years in tax delinquency. What they have paid their tax bills. However, they have $97,940 in homestead penalty bills. So somebody died, probably that Mildred lady. Or what was it? Yeah, Mildred, estate of. Whoever's living in there is claiming homestead exemption, but they're not living in there. And the county has hit them, the tax collector, has hit them with the penalties. So somebody's got to pay this off. So you'd have to factor that in. Great lead, though. A lot of motivation. Look at all these bills. And they keep paying these. So let's see who's paying them. Because who's paying them is the person who's going to be hardest probably to get. Yeah, so the estate is paying them. That's not true. So one of those is paying them. So yes, in short, I would grab everybody and I would start reaching out to their heirs, Israel, Raymond, Deborah, Marilyn, Denise. I can almost guarantee you that one of them, maybe two of them, are going to want to sell because they probably don't live there. They want nothing to do with it. They hate these other heirs or these other, family members. That's who you got to get. And then you just file a partition and force the sale. Great lead, though. Great lead. And when you're doing your numbers, by the way, like what can I pay them? Just remember, $100,000 is going to need to get paid to the tax collector. So you got to factor that in. So don't miss that. Hey, Willie, are sold tax redemptions in Georgia with a 12-month redemption a good source if it's below the ARV? I don't do a lot of deals in Georgia. However, I've only done like one or two. Tax redemptions in Georgia with a 12-month redemption. In what sense? I mean, because like a redemption means that the previous owner could come back and pay the taxes and redeem their property back. So if you're going after them, they might be. I like tax delinquent properties before they sell at auction and before it goes into the redemption period. But it might be. It might be. I mean, if you have 12 months, you might be able to. But I don't know how the laws work in the sense of, oh, well, now you're the new. Let's say you buy the property from the previous owner who had redemption rights. My question is, do you have redemption rights now that you're the new owner? You got to look that up, right? As a matter of fact, we'll just now I'm just curious. Georgia tax redemption period. Let's look it up. Tax redemption, the right to redeem, redemption costs, owner's rights. Until the foreclosure is finalized, the original owner may still have the right to redeem the property. See how it says here? The original owner. So again, there's probably some sort of document that you could get their ownership assigned to you. I'm not sure. That one entitled to redeem the property may do so. Yeah, so. Does that answer your question? Horoscope love. The owner's right to redeem remains until the tax sale purchaser formally forecloses. Okay. Purchasing the owner's interest does not automatically bypass this. There's your answer. Do I have to? The redemption must take place within 12 months of the sale. Yeah, so there's your answer. It's a great. That's a great question. It's a great question. Anybody else have a lead? If not, we're gonna call it a day here, guys. Remember, we are going live tonight, 6 p.m., 30 minutes from now. Antonio might be able to drop the link to the webinar. I'm going to be teaching sales and acquisition. It's a free webinar. Not going to pitch you anything, I promise. There's not going to be a sale at the end. Join my thing. That'll be another webinar. But on this one, it's free. Absolutely. I'm just going to be giving game and full content for acquisition and sales. Okay. You guys know the deal. You have the link right there. You submit a deal. I will review it for you. And somebody asked about what app am I on. rfdealfinder.com. It's right here. See it at the bottom of the screen. You can go to that website. You can sign up. It's $147 a month for the app, and it comes with 25,000 skipped records every single month that reset. Yes, sir, from Dan. There you go. This one is also in a state of. Need the link to that, por favor. The link to the webinar or the link to the RF Deal Finder? RF Deal Finder. Well, here's the link to the app, the RF Deal Finder. And genuinely, I don't have the link to the webinar, but there it is. Antonio, you're the man. This one is also in the state of, Real Equity Masters. If you want to shoot that real quick, I'll do really quickly. I'll go and I'll review it real quick. Let's go. To the webinar, please. There you go. Boom. So he put it right there. Reverseflip.com/live workshop, ? Too many things to read. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow for the next YouTube live every day, weekday, 5 to 6, every weekday, Saturday, noon to 1 p.m. Sundays, I don't do them. Webinar, 30 minutes from now. That's where I'll be. God, I always like to answer these questions. Let's say the person dies and leaves behind kids and a husband. It's inside of her estate. Who would be the next of kin from a probate inheritance standpoint? Is that Florida, Brian? The other app, the one you were looking at, properties around the... Oh, yeah, that's a property appraiser, brother. That's just like the Miami-Dade property appraiser. So every county is going to have a property appraiser. Brian, is this in Florida? Yes, great. Check this out. Watch this. Oh, there we go. Check this out. Check this out. Okay. Here's your answer, Brian. Take a picture of this. I'll only let you see it for a few seconds. This is some serious game right here. So you asked me, let's say the person dies and leaves behind kids and a husband. It's inside of her estate. Who would be the next of kin from a probate inheritance perspective? There you go. Take a picture of this. It answers all those questions. Was the decedent married when they died? Yes. Did the decedent have children? Yes. Did either spouse have children outside the marriage? Yes. No. Decedent's property goes to the spouse. Boom. If they did, one half of the estate goes to the spouse. The other half of the estate goes to the children. If the decedent did not have children, decedent's property goes to the spouse directly. You guys see that? Take a picture of this real quick. 260 Northwest 71st Street. All right, I'm going to freaking do this real quick. It's free and clear. Estate up. All right. So you got an estate of, there was an interfamily transfer in 2019. There's no mortgage. No, sir. Anything you want to know specifically, Albert? Interesting zoning. Big lot. Shitty location next to this like junkyard. But doesn't mean you can't. I mean, if you could get it at a good price. This says unable to process due to deed errors. So personal reps deed. In the estate of deceased, whose post office is Grand Tours and Keith Graham, Alexander Graham, whose post office, Grantees. So, it's interesting. It doesn't say what percentage they own, so I'm just going to assume it's even. So, Keith Graham, Alexander Graham, Karen Taylor, and Vanessa Robertson. 4 of them, tenants in common. So it's a quarter apiece, 25% apiece as far as I see. So these 4 people have 25% ownership each in this property. Again, I can almost assure you, you can get 1 or 2 of them. The probate was done in 2019. My computer is freezing. I know, because it's too much information. It's too much high-tech information. Here you go. So you got 2 years tax deal, bro. That's solid. And they had applied for the deed before, and then they paid. Who paid the last bill? That's a good one. Karen Taylor. I would reach out to the heirs, brother. It's a good lead. 2 years tax delinquency. You got multiple people on title. Each one owns a quarter. They got no mortgage. It's a nice lot. Interesting lot. Don't really know what it would be worth. It's very interesting. Oh, it's a great area, bro. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to... I mean, you figure the lot itself. What's the zoning on this? T50. That's really good, dude. Yeah, I mean, that lot's got to be worth at least 400, 500. So, yeah, dude. I would reach out to them, bro. It's a great lead, Albert. Let me know what you need on that. Guys, thank you very much. I got a jet to get ready for this webinar. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you at 6 p.m. I love this. Keep them coming. Let's ride.